Russ, author of The Estate. We're going to be going on to chapter 14. A little recap of chapter 13 is about the sketchbook. One of the things Anna found when she was locked in the basement was a sketchbook that had drawings by one of the sons of James Sumner. And when she looked at the photographs, she noticed they were all drawn. He was an artist, and they were drawn during World War II. And when she had her dream, and also talking to the local historian, she found out that Sumner man was a big hero in World War II. And unfortunately, he died saving children. So get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage, and let's go on. Chapter 14, The Journal. Anna decided to return to the basement, but this time she had the help of Ruby. Days earlier, she had the basement lighting updated and added a landline phone. She also had the critter hole sealed up to avoid any more possum visits. Her last basement adventure was never to be repeated. Ruby helped Anna out of the wheelchair at the top of the stairs and guided her down the steps. This time the basement was fully illuminated with no surprises anticipated. The basement was cool and damp, with the musty smell of old stone and aged wood. Cobwebs draped the walls and wine racks. And there was no sign of Dracula, Anna thought to herself with a smile. Being naturally cool down there, it was the perfect temperature for wine. The Sumners obviously loved wine because there was a fair amount of it. I couldn't drink this much wine in a lifetime, Anna told Ruby. It would be nice to auction some of it off to charity, suggested Ruby. I love how you think, Ruby, Anna replied. You really are an angel. Ruby laughed at that comment. Okay, Ruby, this is what I'd like to do down here today. I want to read Jimmy's journal, where it was written, in the basement, and you can help me tie it in with the whole Sumner family puzzle. There are so many loose ends. There are drops of wax on some of the pages, so Jimmy wrote it by candlelight before he hid it from his mother. What if we read it by candlelight? Asked Ruby. Great idea, Anna responded, and a candle was lit to recreate the atmosphere from so many years ago. Anna opened the book, and Jimmy's story began. The journal spanned 2 summers before abruptly ending. The first summer was when Jimmy was 16 and filled with fishing, target shooting, and running in the woods with King. He mentioned his brother Grant and how he was different from the other boys, sometimes needing protection from bullies and their overbearing mother. Somehow she never pressured Grant as much, possibly because she knew he had a secret life. Jimmy considered Grant his best friend, supporting him as much as he could and standing up to Miriam when necessary. Around the time of the journal, the boys were becoming young men. Jimmy talked about his future ambitions and how his mom wanted him to make something of himself. The second year of the journal took an exciting turn when Jimmy became smitten by a girl from town, whom he often saw walking down the road. A few times he gave her a ride in his truck. The girl, as Jimmy described her, had amazing eyes and long straight hair. Surprisingly, he never mentioned her by name, perhaps not wanting anyone to know about her if the journal was found. Was he hiding something? In his journal, he wrote poetry and prose about her. He compared her to nature, the wind, the sea, the sun, and the winter snow. She was like a dream to him, a fantasy. Jimmy was an exceptionally good writer, both expressive and intimate. He also talked about how they sat in the cab of his truck for hours and how his dog King was crazy about her too. He seemed to be falling in love with her, but kept the relationship a secret from his mother for reasons that would become evident later in the journal. Jimmy wrote with passion about one perfect summer day he spent with the mysterious woman. Then they sat next to a stream at the edge of his property and watched seed puffs floating in the air around them. It was magical. They talked about how the puffballs were floating without a worry or care, how they had no clear direction. They were at the whim of the wind, landing wherever it took them. The rays of sunlight through the trees made it seem like the puffs were disappearing and appearing again. Jimmy wished that this day would never end. When he reached over and kissed her, his heart raced. She caught him off balance, and he ended up in the stream. In the next moment, she was in the stream with him, and they were both laughing out loud in pure joy. The stream was cold, but it didn't matter. They lay flat on the stream bed, letting the water course over their bodies. She looked over at Jimmy and told him she would never forget this day. Jimmy searched the stream edge for the perfect pebble to give to her, hoping for a gem or an opal or a garnet, but a heart-shaped rock would do. He didn't find any of those, but he did find an Indian arrowhead. It was a great find, something timeless from another era when Indians lived there. She loved the arrowhead, but insisted he keep it to remind him of her, telling him it was from Cupid's arrow. Anna thought that was a good stopping point for the day's journal reading. Ruby seemed to really enjoy it, laughing at times and crying at others. Anna already knew Ruby was sensitive and an empathetic person, one of the qualities she admired about her. She had a freshness about her, but was also an old soul. Anna asked Ruby if she had a special man, and Ruby coyly admitted that she had been in love once in her life. I'm not interested in relationships right now. I have personal things to finish first, she added. Seeing Ruby pull back a little, Anna decided not to pursue the subject. It was never Anna's style to pry into someone else's life. Ruby had always been a private person around Anna, and she respected that. The girls took a break from the journal and went outside for some air. It was Ruby's insistence that Anna got some fresh air every day. Ruby pushed Anna's chair around the property, and they paused now and again to see an interesting bird or butterfly. Ruby told Anna that she always loved this place, that it was beautiful and calm. They stopped at the pond to observe sunfish, bass, and turtles visible in the clear water off the deck. Back in the house, Ruby set up a lounge chair for Anna on the patio and helped her onto it. Anna started telling Ruby about her feelings for Roger, but dozed off mid-sentence. The chase was so relaxing. Anna dreamed of young Jimmy and the mystery girl he was so taken by. They were both happy, so thrilled with each other, talking, laughing, and even kissing in his truck. It was young love in the veritable Garden of Eden. Jimmy began reading poetry he wrote for her as the sun set below the treetops. Next, Anna saw them walking back to his truck, but something was not right with the girl. She moved slowly compared to him, steady but laboring. Jimmy went back to her, held her in his arms, and they kissed. He picked her up and carried her. That's when Anna noticed something about the girl. She was disabled, not in a wheelchair like Anna, but with braces on both legs. Jimmy's girl had a disability, and it didn't matter to him at all. Anna could now hear Jimmy's mom, Miriam, calling from the house. Jimmy! Jimmy! Jimmy quickly helped the girl onto the truck and drove her home. Jimmy! Jimmy! Became Anna! Anna! Wake up, Anna! You dozed off, and it's getting late. It was Ruby talking to her now. You slept for quite a while, and I want to help you get back into the house before I leave today. Thank you, Ruby. I appreciate you, Anna replied. Tomorrow we can get back into the journal. I may have some more insight. Ruby arrived the next day, and they went through the rest of the journal. Anna took pictures of the poems and typed them up as Word files. She intended to print and frame them. They were beautiful, and she felt privileged to be able to honor those magical moments from the past. They were hidden in the basement for way too long. Anna also confirmed that the girl had a disability. In one journal entry, there was a reference to her ability to transcend all limitations and handicaps. Anna gave Roger the rundown on the journal the next time they spoke, sharing her opinion that Jimmy's mom wanted her kids to be perfect and have seamless lives. She would never tolerate a less than perfect woman for her son. It made sense that Jimmy had to keep secrets, as both brothers did. Anna cried on the phone when she talked about how her man also loves her beyond her limitations. She told him that the whole love story of Jimmy and the girl mirrored her life with him. Roger reminded her that her life with him was just getting started and that she had no major limitations in his eyes. Of course, Anna responded. Roger, I almost forgot to tell you. There was another revelation in Jimmy's journal. He described the girlfriend as someone who shined in the sun, multifaceted, like a diamond. Jimmy gave her the diamond earrings. Wow. The plot thickens, replied Roger. I wonder what happened after that. Did she give the earrings back? Did Jimmy or his mom take them back? Where is the second earring? Who is this girl? Why am I asking all these questions? Ha ha. Anna laughed out loud. Roger, I'm at the point where I don't know if this is a chapter from Nancy Drew or Scooby-Doo. Ruh-roh, replied Roger.